I got invited out with Eskimo. I have no relationship with them. They don't pay me. They're not giving me anything. For me, I get some cool content and get to check out the new gear. So this is the 850.
Yeah, the one thing I didn't mention earlier, the naming convention on this is going to be slightly different. So this is what we're calling the XDP series.
XDP.
So before we had Outbreak XD,
Yep.
now we have Outbreak XDP. The P stands for pack down.
Oh,
For condensed pack down size.
cool.
Will fit horizontally in the bed of a truck, vertically in the bed of a truck, different ways without, sometimes people would end up putting them, or like
Diagonally. Yep.
they fit really snug in most sleds. Obviously an SUV, this is going to make a huge difference. So one other big difference, this was the deluxe carry bags that we had, the top load bags that we had in the past.
Right.
Full length zipper down the top here, along with grab handles. I wasn't sure how much I'd care about those. I use them pretty much every time I pick it up. There's pockets now on the outside of the bag for your ice anchors. So we've got the zipper pockets here in the front, put your straps in there, things like that. You'll notice on these ones before we had a much more simple version of the cinch strap that goes in here. We've added a more heavy duty carabiner to these. Now we've got a full-on cam strap for them. Let's start here with the pack down geometry and how this has changed. So if you look at some of our XD shelters or our XD lineup, there would be a roof hub that comes significantly past the rest of these when it's packed down. Now, all these are basically in the same spot. So the geometry on our hubs have changed, which is how we achieve a shorter pack down length.
So we see one door, and I think I saw another door back here. Look at that. 2 full doors. No trip, full doors. Nice. Looks like we got a black vent there for the top. Of course, there are windows here and another black vent here. So we got one on either side. Ooh, there's some stuff going on down there. Nice sized windows.
There's a few main differences on this one. Obviously, on the 850 specifically, there are 2 no-trip doors. There's still only going to be 1 no-trip door on the 650 size and the 450 size. But the 850 specifically, we thought structurally fit a second no-trip door very well. In Outbreak XD, this hub would actually be about right here.
Got it.
So by lowering the hubs, we can kind of optimize the lengths of all the poles to be about the same size. Kind of a random thing that we've stumbled into that works really well. Does not structurally compromise the shelter in any way. We've tested these in very heavy winds like we test our other shelters. And it's the same square footage, same dimensions. Actually, I shouldn't say that, because of the second no-trip door, the 850 did grow a little bit. So yeah, by shifting that hub down a little bit, we change the geometry. The pack size gets condensed when it goes down. And then also what that leads to is more space on the walls for windows. So the windows are much bigger.
Much bigger.
Yes.
I love that.
With the gray interior in these, and you open all these giant windows up, dude, it's pretty bright.
And I like that, the height of them and everything. It's perfect for being in a chair, looking out at tip-ups. They're Velcro, right? So easy to open up if you want to throw something out, get some extra ventilation, air, anything like that. These are awesome.
Yeah. Yep. They're still completely removable windows, like you were saying there. Like they always have been, but now they're just bigger. We have a guide that runs a lot of our stuff on Lake Odibic in Michigan in the Upper Peninsula.
Oh, okay.
And he runs a lot of jaw jackers for perch out on Odibic. He's guiding like 20 clients at a time sometimes, so he's got 40 jaw jackers out at any given point in time. And these big windows, he said, actually, I think the pack down size is the coolest part, but he by far was like, no, I can now see all of my lines, no problem. So that was a huge feature. I think, depending on how you like to fish, could be impactful.
Yeah.
There's a couple other things. For people who like to use diesel heaters, we have some new features on this as well. On one side of the 850, we have some HVAC clips. You run your diesel heater the way you like, and you can pass your inflow and your outflow ducting through the tent itself. You don't have to fumble through the D-door or window or however you're going underneath or however you were doing that before.
Yep.
So you can use those however you'd like. They just kind of have flaps that go back up. These cinch down here so you can stay nice and snug around your ducting.
Cool.
And here we have a zippered propane line port.
Love that.
A lot of people still like to run their propane lines, I think, under the skirt of the shelter. Now you have an option to go straight through the wall if you don't want to mess with slush or whatever going on the outside.
Yeah, these windows are impressive. Plus the extra door. Oh,
When you're fishing in these, I fish with live scope a lot, and when you're fishing in the 850 specifically, you end up drilling holes in a line a lot of times.
Yeah.
Fish off the same unit. And now they separate you into 2 separate rooms in this thing, and now you each have your own door.
Exactly.
I've taken that a couple times fishing, and we end up using the doors a bunch. Another small thing, there's 2 other small features if we want to get close to the hubs here. So these used to be a little bit skinnier and a little bit deeper, and now we've basically made them a little bit shallower, a little bit more reach intoable. We think it's a little bit more of an adaptable shape for
nice
putting in there.
For sure.
Change. The grommets on these hubs themselves, we can go get a base and talk about this here in a second. But there's 2 little grommets here. So if you put an E-hub base on there, what that's going to do, you put your E-hub base using this this nut here on the bolt of the hub itself. And you put an E-hub base onto that, what it does is it takes the 2 holes on the E-hub base and nests right into that. So it's rock solid on there. There's going to be no twisting, turning at all. So in the past, our Outbreak shelters have come with enough straps to basically do the wind side. That's a change we're making. Now we have these deluxe bags with lots of pocket room and all sorts of stuff. Every single side is going to have a strap strapped down with it. There's going to be enough ice anchors for every single grommet on this thing, every single strap.
Nice.
Come with a complete kit. We've kind of revamped this Outbreak series into a whole new thing that fishes the same size with some just more premium features.
Yeah, I think this is great. The size in the bag, breaking it down smaller is nice. But I like the windows for me are huge, as well as the second walk-through door. Like I think those 2 things alone are incredible. So I like it. Just when I thought, I was like, how are they going to continue to innovate on hubs? Like they're already so great. And it's like sometimes it's the quality of life upgrades that you can do to products. It's not really changing the product, it's just making it so that way you enjoy using it more when you're out on the ice. These bags are pretty awesome. These heavy duty handles are going to come in clutch. I love the big wide opening. There's another brand that does something similar like this, and I've always loved that style of bag, but this one has those extra handles that the other ones don't, and then these pockets are awesome too. All right, so this is the Outbreak 450 XDP. We can see the logo on it. As we walk around, we've got a vent hole there, big windows here, a big window here, a nice sized D door, another vent, 2 big windows here, 1 window, big door, and 1 other window. What do you primarily fish out of?
I'm a big 650 guy.
Okay, so a hub guy though, instead of flip over?
Depends what I'm doing. If I'm on like a trip, I'm for sure bringing 2.
Okay.
650, then I'm bringing my Escape. So how I like to fish personally is, if I'm fishing with 2 people or less, I will bring the Escape 2600 flip over shelter. If I'm fishing with like 3 or more, I'll bring the 650 because it fishes 3 people very spaciously. I don't use the 450 as often for that reason. I think the 650 is probably the most versatile size.
Yeah.
Especially now that the pack down is shorter. Yeah, it just kind of depends on how you fish. That's how I like to do it. But
so here's the 450. Anything in particular on this one you want to talk about?
yeah, it's very similar. It's got all the same features other than that second no-trip door that the 850 has. It's got the new pockets. It's got the diesel heater HVAC.
Oh, nice. It does have those. Sweet.
Yep, it's got the propane port. It still has the giant windows in here.
Gosh, those are great. With the light gray interior, it is really nice. Still that one same big full door, which is great. 2 big nets on the sides.
This overall, the 450, that's the same XD series. We'll have the smallest overall pack down compass.
Great.
This is the 650 XDP. This will be the longest of them. It's actually shorter than the 850. Fits horizontally in the sled.
Nice.
Here is the 650 XD.
So the current one
does not fit completely into the
Yep, you can see that difference in the length right there, which actually makes a big difference when you're putting it in the back of a truck like you were saying earlier.
Yep, and I think SUV folks.
Oh, yeah. Or car folks.
Car folks for sure. Yeah, about the same weight, so it feels a little bit denser when you pick it up, I find. This one specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah, pop her up.
Let's do it.
So this is the 650 XDP. Like I said, this is my personal favorite. This is the one I fish out of the most. We have found is in the past several years, the bigger size shelters have become increasingly popular than where they were before. What ends up happening is those shelters end up being huge things to bring out on the ice. So I think the packed on size is definitely going to be a welcome change there, especially on the 650. It is the tallest shelter. That's another reason why I like it. The center is higher than both the 450 and the 850. Take a look inside. Giant windows. Got the HVAC ports in this one. Got everything. I do have some E-hub bases mounted in this one.
Oh, nice.
If you wanted to see how those kind of nest onto those nubs.
Yep, so you can kind of see them in there, so that way it can't twist, even if it's not like totally tight.
A lot of people ice camp out of these. I think that's one of the diesel gear ports are going to be welcome change. The big windows, the packed out size, pretty much everything else that's on the other one. So these are the only 3 sizes that are going to be available in the XDP specifically. So before we also had a 250 and a 350.
All right, what do we have next?
The large floor kit.
Okay.
So it comes with this carry bag. It's got these buckles and these straps that you can cinch down to the back. There's a couple details that we'll get into when we set up this floor. This will fill up the 850 XDP. So if you're looking for what size you want, you can compare the square footages online. Let's hop into the 650. That's my favorite. When you bring foam mats out and you're doing the foam mat thing, they can be kind of difficult to transport.
Yep.
So that's one problem I feel like we've addressed here. Let's set some of these up. So can actually connect them in 4 different spots, so I can shift it down if I want.
Oh, that is cool.
So that's one different thing about these. They will not work with other foam mats for that reason, and then there's actually a second reason for that we will get to as soon as I get to one. So it'll come with 4 of the full tiles. Will break down.
Dang.
And the reason for that is, so depending on how your setup is, if you put a cot here, you're ice camping, or if you have you're out for the day and you've got holes in a line or holes in corners, however you like to do it, you can pick where you want those spots. So these tiles are 24 by 24. So if you split that in half, this is 12 inches. So you'll have 12 inches of open space when you set these up. To say like this and like this. Right here. So what that allows you to do is basically pick up one of the full tiles from anywhere, make it a half tile, so you could put a hole or 2 right there. So it's a nice layout, however you want it.
I like that, because it's like most people will have to cut their foam mats and tiles to get those holes. Otherwise you're missing a whole piece or it's not straight on the side.
Yeah.
This solves that problem. That's awesome.
One of my favorite ways to do this is I have it set up the wrong way. So I will leave a strip open down the middle of the 650 shelters, and then I will put a horizontal half piece in between each hole. So I'll have live scope, full, and then mats in between, so it's not kind of a mess of tiles laid on top of each other.
Yeah.
If you really neat, and they're easily removable for when you drill your hole, I like to take them off, drill that hole, put it back over the top, and it ends up being really clean.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
That is super cool. I'm excited about this. If you ask me, this is one of the things that I'm going to be picking up, at least a set, probably the large set, and then you can use it with like any of the hub shelters that you have, no matter the size. This is sweet. I haven't seen anything like this before. So here's the thing. I even have a ton of these tiles that I picked up from wherever we pick them up online. It seems like every place is starting to sell them now. But nobody's come up with this idea of these half tiles. And I think that's just solving a real problem that's out there. Some people may say, just cut the dang thing, but I like it.
You can cut these too if you want.
Right.
So like that one was just there.
And it turns into a full tile, so if you don't want to use the halves. All right, what do we got here?
I think a lot of people are probably familiar with our rod lockers. They've been out for a while. They hold 4 rods, and they come with 2 different sizes. So this here is the 42-inch rod locker for up to 42-inch rods. If you really wanted to jam a 43 there, you probably could. And then the 32, a lot more compact, fits up to 32-inch rods. If you're a wheelhouse guy, these things are great. This third one that I have sitting here, the old version of the rod locker,
okay,
are pretty similar. There are a couple key differences. So this is the old one, and this is the new one.
Yep.
So this one comes down all the way. I have my rods in this one. And you basically, here, I'll take one out. So you don't have to bend it at all.
Nice.
This one, you're putting this in and you're kind of bending the rod like that to get in there, which isn't necessarily a huge problem, but this is kind of a running change we wanted to make.
Yep.
To just keep making our stuff better. So that fits in there like that. Still has this reel strap. So that I put on here, so that way if you're strapping this to a top of a snowmobile or something, your rod's not banging into the other side. And these are hard tubes in here.
Sweet.
You can take out the tubes and switch them around. So say you like to use left-handed reels, so you like to use right-handed reels. Then when you buy it, it's not set up for that configuration. Just pull the tubes out, switch sides, put them back in, and they'll fit your reels perfectly.
Sweet.
So that's that. And then I am one of these guys that likes to put way too much stuff.
Yeah, I can relate.
Than this. So
That's awesome.
Inside, I've got, this is fit to fit a like standard size tip up in the top here.
Okay.
So I've got 2 finicky foolers in here.
Love it.
3 tackle boxes, bunch of supplies. I like to keep my line up top, fumbling stuff, some lake truck tubes. Basically, this has become like my tackle box.
Yeah.
The other thing that's different, if you want to strap this to the back of an ATV, the back of a snowmobile, the older rod lockers did not have those loops.
Oh, yeah.
We've got these on both sides.
Okay, cool.
So what these end up being is if you put this on the back of a snowmobile, it ends up kind of being a don't touch it all day, like rod station. You can strap them down without going over the top at all. Like I said, it is looks like a soft case, but it is hard on the inside. And also available in that 32-inch size. 32-inch size will not fit a tip up in the middle. I can still put a finicky fooler in there. I can still put a tackle box in there. I can put my
Yeah.
It's just one basically of these slots extended for the 42.
Got it.
Yeah, some changes to the rod lockers. So another new accessory this year, we're going to call this the Seat Stash Bucket Lid.
Seat stash bucket lid.
Stash bucket lid.
Nice. Okay.
It's a lid. It goes on top of your bucket. It's got foam on the top, so you can sit on it. It snaps on the top of just any bucket. If 5-gallon, ours are 6-gallon buckets specifically. They still work there, so you'll hear a snap
Nice.
when those go on. So I've got a bunch of stuff in here as well. Again, I bring too much stuff places. But,
That's slick.
yeah, you put all sorts of stuff, bait pucks, bunch of different things that you like.
Do they all have a little hole in them?
Yep. So water drains out of there if it would ever get in there.
Is this a tray inside of it, or that's actually part of the
This is
lid?
molded
Okay.
into it.
Cool.
Down. One other thing here, it kind of snaps onto there, but comes off pretty easily still.
Nice.
So, yeah, sweet. You can sit on it, supports your leg really nice.
Did you? I didn't notice. Does it swivel or no?
It does not.
Okay.
Nope.
Fixed. Okay. Cool. Cool.
Just one fixed molded piece with some foam on top and then the compartment in there. So
Awesome. And it works as a lid,
it does.
right? And it actually closes it too, and in that clicking, positive locking, make sure it's not going to just fly right back off.
Yeah, everything
That's cool.
snaps down.
Nice. Love it.
So we've got a new accessory. This is splitter. So for the 650 XDP, snap that on there, and now one base becomes 3 EL bases, and that will support a fairly significant amount of weight. So I'll put cable on there. I like to throw the dead stick holder on here sideways.
Oh.
There's a little reel securing pocket for it to sit sideways on the back there. And then if you need an extra beverage, put beverage holder. So we've got rattle reels, we've got other rod holders, we've got a camera mount. There's a bunch of different accessories you could put on there, but that's kind of how that works. So
That is awesome.
yeah, just another way to utilize more accessories. And we've tested this. This will hold, I don't think it's on our listing, but we put 40 pounds on this and it's been fine.
Oh, wow.
We're not super worried about stability here. It's pretty rock solid. The other thing in these new XDPs is these do sit a little bit lower.
Yep.
I find that actually works pretty well, especially with rattle reels and tables and stuff like that when you're sitting in a chair in here. So
Will it go on sideways so you could almost have it vertical?
yeah, it'll go on in any direction. We could do that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't use like the cup holder this way. Or anything.
Probably not a good idea. But I'm just thinking in case if you did like
yeah.
you could do like
could.
rattle reel or those dead stick holders that direction as well.
You could put a light here. Too.
Yeah, or
If you
light,
wanted,
yep.
like low, like extra lighting in your shelter. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but you could do it. These are like it's pretty stable in here. They do have this clip, all the hubs,
Yeah.
kind of lock them into place. So yeah, that's just weird.
Cool. Awesome. Always improving on every little thing. I love it.
So if you have a pistol bit 2.0, this is gonna have the same exact performance. Got those turbo blades, just like the E40 and the pistol bit 2.0 have. The biggest difference here is that this one is made out of steel, and it obviously weighs a little bit more.
Yep.
For that reason, it's going to be a little bit more budget friendly.
Sweet.
Than the Pistol Bit 2.0. It's still got the safety recovery plate on the top. This actually is still a composite material. This is not solid steel on the top. Works the same way. You're not going to drop it down the hole. Same blade cover on the bottom as the rest of our augers are actually all the same. With picking a drill, to use one of these augers, it should be mentioned, we do have some drill requirements. If you're going to pick out a drill, 725 inch-pounds of torque is definitely the most important one. The stabilizer arm is also incredibly helpful, keeps it from kind of torquing you a little bit. The bigger battery you use, the better it's going to perform, no matter what. So, let's rip one.
Nice.
So one of the cool things is the Pistol Bit 2.0 was, for 95% of the season, the only auger that I used. I picked up the 8-inch and the 10-inch of the 2.0. I've been using it with my Milwaukee drill. It's been phenomenal. I still got the E40, the Alpha Plus, a Strike Master, a Razor. I got a bunch, but I use the Pistol Bit 2.0 in this. Having the exact same performance as that at a more budget-friendly price point is pretty incredible. Pop one right here. So this is the 8-inch. Oh, good to know. Only available in 8-inch. You probably said that and I didn't listen. Oh yeah, she rips.
Suits, what do we got new this year?
So we have 3 new suits this year. We are going to have what I'm wearing, the Expedition suit in a new woodland pine colorway. We're going to have the Elevation suit, which is our women's suit for this ice season, and then also the Explorer suit, which is colorway as well. That is our youth suit. They all float with our uplift technology that makes our suits a little bit unique. We've been doing this for several years. We call it our uplift breathable flotation, and that's because the float foam in this actually is perforated. It helps a lot with the breathability. If you're sweating out there, everybody knows if they've made a long walk out on the ice and they start to sweat, they get cold.
Yep.
They stop. So the breathability in this helps that a little bit. Obviously, you're still wearing a pretty big suit. The construction of this will be very similar to people who have fished with both our Keeper suit and our Legend suit. It's kind of somewhere in between those two. And we took basically the most popular features off of those and brought them into this new series of suit. We've got a jacket, we've got bibs. One thing that we've got feedback on is our removable knee pads.
Yeah.
Here, so day like today, that makes a pretty big difference.
Yeah.
Bare ice for sure. We've got big cargo pockets everywhere. I've got stuff in here.
Nice.
We've got some mollies on here. We've got extra zippers down here. Internally, a friend of mine has started to call it this, called the Eskimo pat down, because you have so many pockets. I forget where stuff is.
Yep.
That's one thing. The cuffs on these are a little bit different. So we've done like a neoprene on the back here that kind of stitches close, and then you can cinch it as close as you want. That's not a new feature, but
nice.
The construction on the bottom here is different.
Sweet.
We've got all the same features on the inside, some glove pockets on the inside.
I like the plaid accent on the inside.
We got to do plaid on.
And then even on the inside of those big cargo pockets, it's pretty sweet.
Yeah,
that's cool.
The other thing that we have in our suits is obviously full-length zippers.
Oh yeah.
There's magnets everywhere on our suits, so
nice.
It comes over the top of the jacket, has magnets, and then on the bottom here. So say
you're a
little bit taller and you need a little bit of a leg extension. There's a few different options. There's 3 different options actually for how long the hems on the legs zip down.
That's great.
You can actually see in here 2 pockets right here. I'm actually gonna pull this out for its inside. So it kind of looks like a football fan, to be honest with you.
Oh, cool.
But instead of just like one big solid pad, we found that by kind of putting these, I don't even know what you'd call this, but making it structured this way with these little kind of nubs on the top, it moves a little bit better.
Yeah.
So that sits right on your knee. There's 2 different options for heights depending on where it hits you when you kneel down with the suit. Obviously it's insulated, full DWR, the whole works. It also has a 4-way mechanical stretch in it. Going to that.
Nice. Nice.
We also have the roughneck suit. Has been slightly redesigned this year. That also has mechanical stretch in it. Where I find that to be the most noticeable is you bend down and pick something up. You can feel it on your back, like right now, like bouncy almost. These clip off like that. Yep.
Oh, sweet.
So you can clip those on and off. Yeah, we've kind of taken all the most popular features that we've found and combined them into a new colorway. A lot of our suits have been gray and black in the past.
Yeah, it looks nice.
And it kind of matches this new hoodie I'm wearing as well. You'll find this on the website. We have new hoodies every single year. We're calling this the Lakeside hoodie. It's a pretty classic hoodie with
nice.
an Eskimo patch on it to go with the walleye caps.
All right, so now that we've gone through everything, I'm gonna show you the top 3 items that I'm most excited about this year that we went through. The first is actually probably the most simple, and that is the 3-way splitter for the E-hub system. I can't tell you how many accessories I have, and I always get a little bit frustrated when I'm out on the ice because it's like, I only have so many spots to put these. This will solve that problem. You can actually set up rattle reel, some rod holders, your table, lots of options with this. So I'm definitely picking up a few of these this upcoming season. Next is the bucket seat. I love the idea of the padded seat. This is the reason why I'm excited about this. It actually works as a lid for your bucket. There's a lot of buckets that I typically bring out, and all the other seats that I typically have don't actually cover the bucket. They just sit on it gently. And if you tip it over or there's a hole in it, this actually covers it, so it actually works as a lid. Nice thick foam on it. And then of course, the storage optionality on it as well. So this actually gives a little bit more life to your bucket by being able to store some of those small things up there. So I may actually bring an extra bucket with. Typically I'll use like milk crates because I can actually organize some things in there a little better. I might be able to do that even better. So I'll be picking up probably a couple of these. And for when you're hole hopping around, it's nice just to bring a bucket with and not have to bring a chair. Because for me, the biggest thing is like, you don't really want to sit on something hard all day. Well, now you don't need to with this guy. And last but definitely not least, one of the most exciting things for me, because I'm doing a lot of ice camping in a hub shelter probably next year, is this guy right here. So the bag to be able to hold basically enough foam tiles to fit in this 850 behind me in this little holder thing is pretty incredible. And the foam tiles themselves, I don't know why I never thought of this, but it's game changing in how you can actually have a half tile, and that's 12 inches. So even a 10-inch hole, however, if you're probably on the ice, you're probably just using 8 inches, more than enough space for you to be able to just take these out. And every time that you go out, kind of redesign the way that you want to do your floor plan. So I'm definitely going to be picking up the large kit of this guy next year. As you all know, I don't work exclusively with any brand. I don't even work with any of these brands. I just got an invite to come out here on the ice, check this stuff out. They get a couple videos out of it. I get to check out the gear and figure out what I need to put on my shopping list for next year. So I'm gonna be picking these up. And that's a wrap for all the new Eskimo gear. Stay tuned. There's more coming from Artisan later this year. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And until next time, take it easy.